Yes, I do. Yes, I do know my stuff. I know my terms and I know what they mean. This is what keeps law in order because, baby, we need law in order. Welcome back. So today we are going to be going over about 21 social media management terms that you need to know because sometimes people may say stuff to you and it's going shoot, shoot right over your head and you're like, I'm just going to act like I know what they're talking about, but I really don't know what these words mean. And we can't have you out there like that. But if you're new here, my name is Erica, and I'm your personal social media management coach and your biggest cheerleader, here to help you open and scale your own personal social media management agency. Now, let's jump right on into it, shall we? Now, these terms are not in any particular order. They happen all around the whole process of working with a client. I'm just going to throw them out there, and we're not going to take a long time because, baby, we don't have time for that. It just don't take that long. Now, let's jump into the first one. First up is the discovery call. The discovery call is going to be the phone call that you get on with a potential client. So before you decide to work with them, before they decide to work with you, this is the phone call that you get on to understand what their needs are and what it is that they really want, and to come to the conclusion of like, do I have something that can help them? Do I really want to work with this person? All that happens during the discovery call. The proposal. Now, your proposal is what you're going to send out before you officially start working with a client. It's going to have the package in there, whatever you may have discussed on that discovery call. So if you decide, hey, they need package number 1, you're going to detail that out inside of your proposal. And it's just simply saying like, this is what I propose that we work together on. And they need to sign and agree on that proposal too. Onboarding. So onboarding is what happens after a client has signed the proposal, the contract, they pay the invoice. Now we can start onboarding. And this is just a process that it takes before you start officially creating content or posting for that potential client. So inside of here, you have like your onboarding calls and all that, getting to know the client a whole lot better. And you're also going to get their assets like their branding and logos inside of this period. Contract. This is the force of nature behind your whole agency. This is what keeps law in order because, baby, we need law in order. Now, I have a video on contracts if you don't know what goes inside of there, but all I'm saying, you need to have that contract in place. Retainers are what we want, okay? So a retainer is simply a retainer client, meaning that they're working with you for several months. So it's not a one-off project, but it may be a 3-month, a 6-month retainer, meaning it's ongoing month after month. You may hear me talk about ideal clients. So an ideal client is somebody that you really want to work with. This is somebody that you actually have an interest in. So versus taking on, like, let's say you couldn't care less about dog parks, but you have that as a client because you're trying to get your feet wet. That's not an ideal client. You're just kind of working with them to get by, to get a little bit of experience, maybe something like that. But your ideal client is bakeries. Like, oh, you got a bakery? I love sweets. I love cupcakes. I love wedding cakes. You want to work with bakers. That is an ideal client for you. So just an industry that you really want to work with. The marketing funnel. Look, what I always tell y'all, we are professionals around here, okay? So the marketing funnel is something that you're gonna get familiar with. These are the different steps that your client has in place to take people from point A to point B, C, D, and so on and so forth. And remember, social media is just one part of that marketing funnel, but it's something that you're gonna hear because, like I said, you fit into that overall marketing funnel. You need to understand where you fit in. So you may hear that word if your client has something like that set up. Other parts of the marketing funnel may be like emails. They may be doing text messages and things like that. But again, you just handle the social media. A freebie may be something that your client has, and this is simply a way to get people into the marketing funnel, a way to get people onto the email list. So this may be something that you're promoting on social media. So it could be like a checklist, and you're telling people, hey, sign up for this checklist, go to our link in the bio to sign up for it. The strategy is that girl. We do not do anything without a strategy. Your strategy is going to be based off of goals, benchmarks, all of that good stuff. But basically, it's going to be telling you what you need to focus on, what you need to create content for that month. Content creation is one of the main things you're going to be doing. So that includes creating graphics, reels, making photos look good together on the feed, make it all aesthetically pleasing. You might also hear curation, and that's like maybe you're grabbing memes or other type of things like that that are already existing and putting them into the feed. But content creation, creating the content for the page. Let's talk about audits. So this may be something that you have as a service, or it may be part of your retainer package. I'm just gonna say this. It needs to be part of your retainer packages, okay? If you have regular social media management clients, you need to do an audit. So your audit is where you are going to look over all the content that somebody is doing and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what can you tweak. So you're gonna be going into analytics. You're gonna be looking at things like, are people engaging with meme posts? Are they engaging with the reels? You just do an audit of that account to see what works and what doesn't work. And maybe some recommendations. Your packages are your bread and butter, okay? Your packages are the things. So when we talk about retainers, these are what's gonna make up those retainer packages and things that people sign up for month after month after month. Packages are your services, your set services. We don't change these every single month, okay? These are your set services that you do. So you may have like 3 different packages and it includes X, Y, and Z. This one includes X, Y, Z, and then A, B, and C too. What is a lead? So a lead is when somebody's interested in working with you. They'll usually fill out a form or they may DM you, basically expressing interest in wanting to work with you. Now your job is to get on that discovery call and to keep, get them going through the motions so they actually become a client. The offboarding process is what happens when you are done working with a client. The end of the contract is here, or maybe you just decide you don't want to work with them anymore. I don't know. All I'm saying is offboarding is the official process that you take a client through to effectively or efficiently offboard them from your agency. Your niche. So a niche can be what you specialize in, or maybe the type of clients that you want to work with. They usually fall under one umbrella. So I always use the example of wellness. That's a niche that you can work within. Or maybe your niche is Instagram strategy, or it's TikTok management. That is like the little thing, like that's your je ne sais quoi. That is your space that you like to work within, or your client space, or maybe like the clients that you work with, that's the space that they work within. You may have heard about content pillars. If you haven't, you know your girl got a video on that too. But your content pillars are going to be about 3 to 5 different topics that you consistently talk about on your client's page or even on your own page. The reason why we love content pillars is because it keeps us organized. But if you need a little help with that, I have a complete strategy and walkthrough on how to create your content pillars. I don't know where it's going to be, but click up there. The kickoff call is something that happens inside of your onboarding process. So during the onboarding call, that is where you redefine the goals. You make sure you have those nailed down for at least that first month of content that you're going to be creating. You can ask any follow-up questions that you have, but it's just making sure that you and your client are on the same page. The content calendar. Now, I know a lot of people say like have a 30-day content calendar. I mean, you can, but if you don't want to, you also do not have to. But your content calendar is going to be where you are simply planning out the content for your client. Sometimes your client may want to see this. Sometimes it's just for you. It kind of depends on how you want to do things. But at the end of the day, this is where you need to at least be planning out the content for that client. ROI stands for return on investment, and this may be something you all have heard of before, but this is the thing, right? When you're working with clients, they are going to want to see the return on investment. They want to see that when they're paying you, they're getting something in return. And the best way to do this takes us into our next and last word, which is end of month report. Your end of the month report shows what you were able to do for that client during the month. So you're going to have screenshots. You're going to show them everything that you've been able to do for that month, what worked, what didn't work. You're going to have your recommendations, all that good stuff inside of your end of the month report. So there you have it. There are 21 social media management terms that you need to know so you come off like a boss. So they're like, oh, they really know their stuff. Yes, I do. Yes, I do know my stuff. I know my terms and I know what they mean. And just so you know, inside of my social media management accelerator program, I do give my students every single thing that they need to complete and execute. I'm talking about end of the month reports, proposals, onboarding processes, systems. I give them all that. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and sign up for the wait list down below. If this video was helpful, make sure that you like and subscribe and do all those dope things for more. And until next time,